Hi, my name is April Hannah. And I'm Imery Parker. And our presentation is on Nikki, Giovanni, and June Jordan. Mwah.
Nikki Giovanni, biological name Yolanda Cornelia Giovanni Jr., was born July 7, 1943 in Knoxville, Tennessee, but was raised in the urban area of Cincinnati, Ohio. Majority of Giovanni's literary influences came from her grandmother and two of her high school teachers. She was a graduate of her grandfather's alma mater, Fisk University, and later attended the University of Pennsylvania and Columbia University, but she later dropped out to follow her passion for writing. Once her grandmother passed, it took a major toll on her, and she turned to writing, which later would turn into one of her greatest works. Shortly after finishing school, Giovanni produced 3 volumes of poetry rapidly between the years of 1967 and 1970, and were read avidly by blacks. These volumes were Black Feeling, 1967, Black Judgment, 1968, and Recreation in 1970. These were immediate hits on the United States Black poetry charts. Nikki Giovanni was greatly acknowledged, honored, and awarded for her work. She was listed in Oprah Winfrey's 25 Living Legends. Her children's book, Rosa, became a Caldecott Honors Book, and the illustration received the Coretta Scott King Award for Best Illustration. Along with a great amount of honorary awards, she received the keys to more than 24 cities.
Childhood remembrances are always a drag if you're black. You always remember things like living in Woodlawn with no inside toilet. And if you become famous or something, they never talk about how happy you were to have your mother all to yourself, and how good the water felt when you got your bath from one of those big tubs that folk in Chicago barbecue in. And somehow when you talk about home, it never gets across how much you understood their feelings, as the whole family attended meetings about Hollydale. And even though you remember, your biographers never understand your father's pain as he sells his stock and another dream goes. And though you're poor, it isn't poverty that concerns you. And though they fought a lot, it isn't your father's drinking that makes any difference, but only that everybody is together, and you and your sister have happy birthdays and very good Christmases. And I really hope no white person ever has cause to write about me, because they never understand black love is black wealth. And they'll probably talk about my hard childhood and never understand that all the while I was quite happy.
Yes, I know it's well. Yes, it's well with my soul. He died on Calvary's cross to make it well. Oh, it is well with my soul.
June Millicent Jordan was born July 9th, 1936 in Harlem, New York. She was a Caribbean-American poet, novelist, journalist, biographer, dramatist, teacher, and committed activist. Jordan is regarded as one of the most significant and prolific black bisexual writers of the 20th century. Through her education, Jordan became completely immersed in a white universe by attending predominantly white schools, but was also able to construct and develop her identity as a black American and a writer. In 1953, Jordan graduated from high school and enrolled at Barnard College. Jordan later expressed how she felt about Barnard College in her book, Civil Wars. She wrote, No one ever presented me with a single black author, poet, historian, personage, or idea for that matter, nor was I ever assigned a single woman to study as a thinker or writer or poet or life force. It was at Barnard that she met a white Columbia University student, Michael Mayer, whom she'd soon marry in 1955. In 1958, Jordan gave birth to the couple's only child, Christopher David Mayer. The couple divorced in 1965, and soon after the divorce, she found a love for women and homosexuality became her lifestyle. Some of her most influential writings include, but are not limited to, Soldier and Poet's Childhood, Who Look at Me, His Own Wear, and Directed by Desire. Jordan received numerous honors and awards, including the 1969-1970 Rockefeller Grant for Creative Writing, a National Endowment for the Arts Fellowship in 1982, and the Achievement Award for International Reporting from the National Association of Black Journalists in 1984. Jordan also won the Lila Wallace Reader's Digest Writers Award from 1995 to 1998, as well as the Groundbreakers Dreammakers Award from the Women's Foundation in 1994. In Jordan's later life, she had a severe struggle with breast cancer that would cause her death on July 14, 2002.
Poem about my rights. Even tonight, and I need to take a walk and clear my head about this poem about why I can't go out without changing my clothes, my shoes, my body posture, my gender identity, my age, my status as a woman alone in the evening, alone on the streets, alone not being the point being that I can't do what I want to do with my own body because I am the wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin. And suppose it was not here in the city, but down on the beach, or far into the woods, and I wanted to go there by myself, thinking about God, or thinking about children, or thinking about the world, all of it disclosed by the stars and the silence. I could not go, and I could not think, and I could not stay there alone as I need to be alone, because I can't do what I want to do with my own body. And who in the hell set things up like this? And in France they say, if the guy penetrates but does not ejaculate, then he did not rape me. And if after stabbing him, if after screams, if after begging the bastard, and if even after smashing a hammer to his head, if even after that, if he and his buddies fuck me after that, then I consented and there was no rape, because finally, you understand, finally they fucked me over because I was wrong. I was wrong again to be me being me where I was. Wrong to be who I am, which is exactly like South Africa penetrating into Namibia, penetrating into Angola. And does that mean, how do you know if Pretoria ejaculates? What will the evidence look like? The proof of the monster jackboot ejaculation on black land? And if after Namibia, and if after Angola, and if after Zimbabwe, and if after all of my kinsmen and women resist, even to self-immolation of the villages, and if after that we lose nevertheless, what will the big boys say? Will they claim my consent? Do you follow me? We are the wrong people of the wrong skin on the wrong continent, and what in the hell is everybody being reasonable about? And according to the Times this week, the CIA decided that they had this problem, and the problem was a man named Nkrumah, so they killed him. And before that, it was Patrice Lumumba. And before that, it was my father on the campus of my Ivy League school, and my father afraid to walk into the cafeteria because he said he was wrong. The wrong age, the wrong skin, the wrong gender identity, and he was paying my tuition. And before that, it was my father saying I was wrong, saying I should have been a boy because he wanted one, a boy, and that I should have been lighter skinned, and that I should have had straighter hair, and that I should not be so boy crazy, but instead I should just be one, a boy. And before that, it was my mother pleading plastic surgery for my nose and braces for my teeth, and telling me to let the books loose, to let them loose. In other words, I am very familiar with the problems of the CIA, and the problems of South Africa, and the problems of Exxon Corporation, and the problems of white America in general, and the problems of the teachers and the preachers and the FBI and the social workers and my particular mom and dad. I am very familiar with the problems because the problems turn out to be me. I am the history of rape. I am the history of the rejection of who I am. I am the history of the terrorized incarceration of myself. I am the history of battery, assault, and limitless armies against whatever I want to do with my mind and my body and my soul. And whether it's about walking out at night, or whether it's about the love that I feel, or whether it's about the sanctity of my vagina, or the sanctity of my national boundaries, or the sanctity of my leaders, or the sanctity of each and every desire that I know from my personal and idiosyncratic and indisputably single and singular heart, I have been raped because I have been wrong. The wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin, the wrong nose, the wrong hair, the wrong need, the wrong dream, the wrong geographic, the wrong sartorial. I have been the meaning of rape. I have been the problem everyone seeks to eliminate by forced penetration with or without the evidence of slime. But let this be unmistakable. This poem is not consent. I do not consent to my mother, to my father, to the teachers, to the FBI, to South Africa, to Bedford-Stuy, to Park Avenue, to American Airlines, to the hard-on idlers on the corners, to the sneaky creeps in cars. I am not wrong. Wrong is not my name. My name is my own, my own, my own. And I can't tell you who the hell set things up like this. But I can tell you that from now on, my resistance, my simple and daily and nightly self-determination may very well cost you your life.
Although Nikki Giovanni and June Jordan have a great amount of similarities through their literary works and the accomplishments they've made, they still had different views of society. Giovanni's focus was rooted from the teachings of her grandmother, which were the importance of helping others and fighting for justice. Whereas Giovanni's views were based on sexual equality, which came about through reading Dr. Benjamin Spock's Common Sense book of baby and child care. A good amount of Giovanni's work reflected her roots and her hunger for fair justice for blacks. Her work reached and impacted all age groups of her audience, even younger children. This is the contrast between her and Jordan. Jordan's argument and acknowledgement for sexual equality only related to those who were of age to know the gay and lesbian lifestyle, or those who were just for sexual equality in general. Moreover, Jordan's work greatly reflected who she was as a person, whereas Giovanni was more subtle in her feminist protests.
And I'm Imery Parker. And we're doing... we can do bloopers at the end.